so looking forward to it.
It was just after the devastating April 2015 earthquake that my husband Mike and I decided to travel to Nepal, home of the Himalayan chain of permanently snow-capped mountains. Since early 2014, we had both become involved in supporting the rebuilding of a small village water supply in Nepal. We wanted to trek and volunteer. This is our story, which we share as a tribute to the resilience of the Nepalese people. Just before I left, the tensions were mounting between India and Nepal. Mike was already high in the Himalaya. Asian news sources were reporting a less than welcoming climate. Consul General for Nepal, Chris Considine, a seasoned Everest climber himself and authority on the country, helps us understand the political situation.
The government, in order to try to bring some political stability and be able to move forward from an administrative point of view, introduced a constitution after about 7 years of debate, which was a great step forward. However, the government of India did not really appreciate our constitution to the extent that we appreciated it, and much of the rest of the world did, including the United Nations, US, Canada, UK, etc. And the feeling of the government of India is apparently that it disagrees and feels that some minorities in the southern regions close to the Indian border are not being given as much democratic recognition as they should be. Consequently, there appears to have been some border closures, and that has had a significant impact on the trade between India and Nepal. It's down to about 10%, I'm advised, of what it was. This has resulted in severe gasoline shortages and shortages of other supplies, most importantly being medical supplies. So it's been unfortunate, and it's a complicated situation. My hope is it'll be resolved soon, because like all families, although we may have a bit of a dispute, it's also important for neighbors to get along, and that's my hope. Eventually we'll get there.
It was not positive when I arrived. Lack of fuel was taking its toll. Some major airlines were grounded. Some restaurants were closed. People were lined up for miles for fuel. Meanwhile, Mike was savoring Nepal's striking beauty at 12,000 feet.
So many highlights. Hiking with the Nepali people, the porters, our Sherpa was fantastic. And it was like stepping back in time. It is, if you could wave a magic wand and step back in time 500 years, that's what it was like. You know, a couple little wires that bring in electricity, there's some satellite dishes and cell phone towers, but other than that, nothing has changed. They are unequivocally the most amazing and the strongest men I have ever met in my life. They would come up to about my shoulder. They weighed almost nothing. They were skinny little guys. They had little chicken legs. They would pack 40 to 45 kilograms up to 6 hours a day at altitude in plastic sandals. Just astounding. We trekked anywhere from, short days would be 3 to 4 hours, as long as 8. I think our longest day might have been 10, but that's pretty extreme. Lots of interesting wildlife along the way. I saw blue sheep. That's the prey of the snow leopard. Spotted some snow leopard track spoor in the dust on the road up in Mustang. We had yaks wander through our camp one night in the upper Marsiangdi Valley, and then I saw some at very, very high altitude pasture another time. I've run marathons. I will say, again, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It was tough. You know, you slow down to a zombie pace, and then you go to sub-zombie pace, and it's just keep going. It's tough.